Good morning. Our chapter today about personal selling and sales management. The current chapter is going to discuss first, what is the role of interpersonal selling in international marketing? Second, what are the considerations in designing an international sales force? Point number three, what are the steps to recruiting three types of international sales people? Point number four, what is the selection criteria for international sales and marketing positions? And finally, what is the special training needs of international personnel? Okay, let us start with the first point in this part, the role of interpersonal selling. Actually, the salesperson is a company's most direct tie to the customer. In the eyes of most customers, the salesperson is the company. And sales representative is the final link in the culmination of a company's marketing and sales efforts. So there is an important role to be played by the salesperson in developing a positive image for the company in the marketplace. Okay, global perspective. Here there are four main points to be considered. First, job security. Second, adjustment to other cultures. Third, readjustment upon return to US, for example. And finally, will an international assignment really help your career? In other words, can develop your career? And this is a very important point to be considered. Okay, the second main point in this part related to designing the sales force. And this includes relationship marketing and customer relationship management. Second, decisions must be made regarding the numbers, how many we need, characteristics and assignments of sales personnel, and the decision to be made here according to job description and job specification. And the decision should be made to make sure that the sales force is able to do or to achieve the tasks needed effectively and efficiently. The third point to be considered in designing the sales force about different market requirements regarding direct sales and customer approach. And this is important as well to be considered because each market affected by its culture. Okay, the fourth point to be considered is related to territory allocation. And finally, customer call plans. So, in designing the sales force, there are 5 main points to be considered. Okay, let me draw your attention to the third point, which is related to the steps to recruiting 3 types of international salespeople. And the largest personal requirements abroad for most companies is the sales force. And the first type to be discussed is expatriate. And this type is declining as the volume of world trade increases and as more companies use locals to fill marketing positions. The second type is virtual expatriates. This means manage operations in other countries but don't live there. In other words, so there is a salespeople live in one country and managing operations in other countries. Local nationals. Local nationals transcend both culture and legal barriers. In this case, no problem related to the culture or legal barriers. And the local nationals familiar with distribution systems and referral networks. Headquarters personnel may ignore their advice. There is a lack of availability, and sales positions viewed negatively. And many locals have earned MBA degrees in the United States. Thus, a firm gets the culture knowledge of the local meshed with an understanding of US. Third country nationals are a group whose nationality has little to do with where they work or for whom. An example to clarify the meaning would be a German working in Argentina for a US company. The internationalization of business has created a pool of third country nationals. Expatriates from their own countries working for a foreign company in a third country. Host country restrictions. Two main points to be considered: work restrictions and the host government's attitudes toward foreign workers often complicate selecting expatriate US. So in host country restrictions, two points to be considered: work restrictions and the host government's attitudes toward foreign workers. Okay, this table summarizes for you the 20 most expensive cities to live, such as Moscow, London, Tokyo, Hong Kong, and so on. And this is a very important point to be considered to be able to make the right decision. Okay, let me draw your attention to next point, which is related to selecting sales and marketing personnel. To select personnel for international marketing positions effectively, management must define precisely what is expected of its people. In doing so, some points to be considered, such as maturity, emotional stability, breadth of knowledge, positive outlook, flexibility, culture, empathy, and finally, energetic and enjoy traveling. And you should note that any mistakes can be very costly. And you should consider that a manager's culture affects personal decisions. So these are the main points to be considered to be able to select personnel for international marketing positions effectively. The last point in this part related to training for international marketing. Actually, the nature of the training program depends on first, the home culture of the salesperson. Second, the culture of the business system and foreign market. So, in designing an effective training program, you should consider both the home culture of the salesperson and the culture of the business system and foreign market as well. And remember that continual training is important in foreign markets. And the companies should provide home office personnel with cross-cultural training. And finally, the internet now makes some kinds of sales training much more efficient. Okay, here is some questions for discussion. Essay questions and another one or another type, true false statements. Okay, thank you and good luck.